And now we start with the current workshop. It's called LXCV workshop at ICCV. So this is a new adventure or venture, because the first LXCV workshop was held at CVPR in June of this year. And now this is our second workshop in computer vision at the International Conference on Computer Vision 2021. So first we start with the keynote speakers that we're going to have. We have 4 speakers, which is equally divided between male and female speakers. So first we have René Vidal from Johns Hopkins University, if I remember correctly. Then Octavia comes from Northeastern University. And then we skip to the panelists, because we're going to have later today a roundtable with people mostly working from Latin America, and we want to see what is missing to, let's say, to advance the research in computer vision in Latin America. How can we help? And how can we overall, let's say, create startups and other kind of development activities in Latin America? So this will be moderated by Gilberto, which is also my co-chair in general co-chair. And we have panelists. We have Raúl Monroy Borja, Enzo Ferrante, Nina Hirata, Pablo Muse, Marley Velasco, María José Escobar, Laura Alexandra Daza Barraga, César Beltrán, Stefania Talavera, and Sandra Avila. Oh yeah, and we have Victor Fragoso and Ivan Cigran. So I think this will be a very interesting event. So we can actually get a discussion on how to improve, let's say, access to computer vision resources and computer vision research in Latin America. Also, Victor and Ivan will also be featured speakers or keynote speakers. And I hope that we also enjoyed their talks. We also want to have 2 tutorials, which is also something new to our series of workshops. So I will be also giving a tutorial about writing papers from the reverse perspective, and Karina Perez will be giving a tutorial about optical character recognition from fundamentals to real-life applications. So I think these 2 tutorials will run in parallel. So for this, we're going to use Zoom breakout rooms, so you can attend either of the workshops that you want, and both workshops will be recorded, of course, to keep them for posterity. So if you cannot attend, you can also watch them in YouTube later when we upload them. So now we shared the general team that we was organizing this workshop. So we had Gilberto and me as organizational logistics co-chairs. For sponsoring, we have Fabian Cava and Ulises Moya. For tutorial chairs, we have Tania Anglai and Lourdes Martinez. For the program chairs / presentation chairs, we have Carlos Hinojosa, Victor Escorcia, and Cristian Rodriguez Opaso. For the doctoral consortium, we have Mario Gonzalez, Fernando Wario, and Hiram Ponce. For the mentorship and the program chairs, we have Paola Cascante and Lourdes Ramirez Serna. For public relations and website, we have Josimar Chire, Juan Sanchez Velaz, Carlos Mata, Cristian Mata, and Luis Santiago. And finally, for volunteers, we have Rodolfo Valente and Eric Tokuda. So now we're close to the end of this opening remarks. So we thank our sponsors. So we have Google Research as a platinum sponsor. So thank you, Google. We also have Facebook as a gold sponsor. So thank you, Facebook. Microsoft as a gold sponsor as well. Amazon Science as a gold sponsor. And Salesforce, Apple, and NVIDIA as a bronze sponsor. So the sponsoring in this workshop and in all workshops is the one that funds all the operations of the workshops, and including the registration grants and all the costs for the workshops. So we're pretty grateful for sponsors about this. So now I share you the program for this workshop. So we already are into opening remarks here. So after this, we will have a first social hour, which will be held in Zoom. So anyone want to be social, meet people, connect to people, we can connect through Zoom. Then we are going to have the first block of invited talks at 9 a.m. in CST time zone. Then we have a break. Then we have the tutorials for 1.5 hours. The tutorials will be presentations and questions. Then after the tutorials, we have the roundtable for 1 hour. Then we will have the mentoring hour and the doctoral consortium in parallel. And then we can have a lunch break for 1 hour. And during the lunch, you can attend the sponsor booths in Gathertown. And then we will have the first keynote, Octave comes, then we have some invited talks, then a break, then the very important poster session where we present all the posters. We have 12 posters that we're going to be presented in this workshop, and you can use it to connect to people and to ask questions to the presenters. Then we have the second keynote by René Vidal. Then we will have the closing remarks, including some awards that we're going to give. And also we have finally this social hours 2, which will happen in Gathertown. And this will also be a networking session. So this will be, of course, at the end of the workshop, and any kind of networking questions that you may have, you can ask them here. So here we also have a QR code on how to attend ICCV. You have the registration grant, and you can follow, of course, our guidelines for this. So anything for the future, here you have our links, or Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn account, or general email, and you can definitely join us. So I really like this picture because I took this picture in the last New Year's workshop we had in 2019 in person. So I hope that now that the pandemic is slowly going down, we can finally meet maybe during next year in person. So we can actually see everyone again, and we can enjoy our workshop. So please enjoy the workshop, and then let's continue with the social hour here in Zoom.
Thank you, Matias, for your presentation. So the idea of this social hour is we wanted to do something very open. Okay, so everyone is open. The mic is open for participation. I just want to say a few more things about the organization of the workshops and the kind of things that we are organizing. Like something that we wanted to make different this time around was usually workshops and conferences. We always have these keynote speakers, right? So they come to the conference, a better respected professor or better respected person in industry or academia. And usually you don't get to see the personal side, right? You get to see the technical aspects, maybe kind of his career sometimes when they show the kind of research they do. But in tandem with these keynote speakers, we wanted as well to showcase the work of some people because one of the ideas of this workshop, LatinX in artificial intelligence and LatinX in computer vision, is to build community, right? To understand better who are doing research in computer vision in Latin America and or other countries, because there are people like Matias who is really involved in this effort, and he's in Germany for some time now. So we are building community, but we also want to know better who are actually working on computer vision or artificial intelligence in Latin America as well. So we wanted to showcase their work, and we actually went through a nomination process in which a lot of people nominated the speakers, or sometimes they self-nominated, and then we went through a nomination to a selection process to get some of the speakers. So this is something that we wanted. Also, because we have some interesting projects that we'll be probably telling you about in the future, we also want to know better the community in Latin America. And we know that there are some similar efforts like IPOR, the Latin Summit, and each country has different activity conferences or communities. But in Latin America, sometimes we feel kind of disconnected, right? Each country is doing their own thing. And I think something like LatinX has been trying to do is to give opportunity to Latinx individuals to participate in these big conferences. But it's important right now because of the virtuality is probably not as interesting, but something that is cool, I think, is that it's not the same thing when you attend CVPR, ICCV, NeoRIPS as an individual. Like, I go there, I don't know anyone, right? You feel maybe intimidated when you get a paper accepted. Nowadays, we have this workshop, so maybe the first day you will already meet some people. They can give you some information on how to interact with people. Maybe they can introduce you. Some people here work with people in Stanford, with people in Florida and different universities in the US or maybe Europe. So already you can have some contacts when you go to conference. So this is kind of giving you a completely different experience, right? I don't know, maybe if you there, Victor, maybe you can share, because this is very open. Maybe you can share your first experience as a student going to a big conference. And how was it?
Yeah. Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you all. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk to, all the community. So yeah, like my first experience while going to conference back then, it was physical. So my first experience was like in 2013. So it was, I don't know if you guys have seen the meme about like a big dog bringing like the little dogs around to the river and so on, taking care of it. So hopefully for me, like it was next to Juan Carlos Nieves. So we attended ICCV 2013 in Sydney, and it was really helpful. I mean, at some point he was planning to send me along, and I was like, wow, I will have to do all the networking, which for a student like in Latin America, like when you speak broken English is tough. So I think that, having him with me that at that time, it was really useful. There were experiences like, for example, interacting with people in which it was difficult to communicate, but like you sometimes just have to do it. Push yourself to the discomfort. So that's how it went my experience, and hopefully, like actually, like from that conference, I managed to connect to the next step in my career, which was CAUS, moving from Colombia to doing my PhD in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Victor. Anybody else wants to share their experience? Maybe you, Nina, you're one of the panelists.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nina. I'm from Brazil, University of São Paulo. I'm not so young, so I started my career as professor in 2001. So my experience participating in the events, yes, you're sure about this aspect of going to the place and knowing nobody. It's not easy. So when I met some Brazilians, it was very nice because we could talk and so on. But I would like to talk about my experience actually in 2014 because I have been I have not been going to a conference because I had children, so I was taking care of my children. I could not go abroad. So after like 8 years, I went to ICP in 2014, and I saw many works happening with machine learning and the images, something that I was not seeing in my department. So that was very important for me actually to perceive that the world was doing so many things and we were not there. So I think it's very nice, this effort you are doing, the group, the LatinX, because in Latin America we are kind of we are not in the center of the research. So sometimes if you don't get the contact and see what everybody is doing, we get behind. So in this sense, this is one point that I would like to stress, that I think this kind of event is very important to bring awareness to everybody that is doing research in this field, that there are many things happening around the world, and this kind of opportunity is very nice to just get in touch with the most relevant research in the world. So that's the, I don't know if I'm talking some nonsense here, but
No,
this
it's
was really
perfect. Yeah,
interesting.
perfect. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is a kind of, I think this is the kind of thing that LatinX AI is after, creating these opportunities, right? Because of, yeah, I see it as well here in Mexico. We are very close to the US. We have a very strong, a very strong science, let's say, community and a very strong science foundation, because we have the National Council for Science and Technology that gives scholarships for people to go abroad. But the thing is that the community itself in Mexico, sometimes they and this is something that we want to discuss in the panel. At least in Mexico, the National Council, the schools, the National Council for Science and Technology favors a lot publishing on journals as a way of promoting your career, or so on, or even to graduate as a PhD. And something that we notice is that people don't go to conferences that much because it doesn't count, you know. And this is a pity, because it's actually isolating the Latin American community from the rest of the world. And I think we have some very, very good researchers and very good students as well that can benefit from this, creating opportunities, attending conference, meeting people, actually creating opportunities for international collaboration, even, right? So I think this has this important aspects as well. And another aspect of LatinX AI is with our sponsors is maybe we can give opportunities for people to go to work to Microsoft, to work to Amazon, to Apple, or something like that, and then give back to the community, right? We have plenty of people like that here in the organization committee. For example, Victor himself, he is right now in Cambridge in Samsung, and he is giving back. We can say the same about Fabian. I don't think Fabian is connected yet. Fabian works for Adobe. We actually want to give something back to the community. I think that's very, very important. Maybe we can get a few words from Christian Rodriguez. Christian, I know you're in Australia. How does it feel to be so far away from America, Latin America, and then in something like this? Can you share your experience?
Sure, definitely. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to everyone and share my experience. Well, the first big conference that I attended was ICCV 2016, I think. Was in Chile, and before of that, I moved to Australia already to pursue a master's degree. So I explored the community really late, and the problem that I see at the moment that I arrived to this big conference is like I was totally alone with Matias and few Chilean people that was in that conference, and we didn't know anybody else, right? And after like few days, maybe 5 or 6 days, we start to meet some people that actually are working in different places at that time. Like, for example, someone from Google DeepMind. Maybe Matias, you can remember. Do you remember the name of?
You mean Rodrigo Benenson?
Yeah, Rodrigo Benenson.
Oh yes.
And he gave us a lot of a good example. René Vidal, we didn't know about René Vidal at that time. So it's really, I really appreciate the effort that you are making for doing this, or we are making to do this community. Really far away from everyone, like here in Australia, the community of Latin America is really small, but we are doing something. Like there are few people from Brazil and from Colombia that are working here and doing things on robotics and machine learning. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Christian, and thank you for your help. Yeah, it was a bit difficult to get sync because of the time zones, but I think at the end of your help was appreciated.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Julio Mendoza, I see you are here. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the experience in CVPR, and now you were not part of the organization committee this time around, but maybe you can say a few words your experience and your experience with CVPR as well, LatinX and CVPR.
Hi, Gilberto. Hi, everyone. So regarding my experience with the LatinX in AI community and these big conferences, I participated at the CVPR, at the ICML in 2019. And yeah, it was a really great experience because before that I just participated in like local conference or Latin American conference, but the ICML was a very great experience. Something that I evaluate a lot is that I met some people that have like a career, a very advanced career, postdocs or people that was working in the industry. And I think this is a very valuable experience because it helps us to know like the intermediate steps to reach a similar path maybe in the career. I'm not I have not participated too much. Actually, this is the third conference maybe that I'm participating in the Latin AI community, but I really enjoy to attend the workshops, and I think that it's a very good opportunity for everyone.
Thank you, Julio. And we hope to see you in CVPR again. Perfect. Let's see somebody else. I see. Maybe you, Rodolfo, you are the newcomer to the community. So you were part of the organization committee this year. Can you share your experience as a Latin individual moving to the US, and how was it? How has been so far?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. Yeah, I started also like joining this conference as participating volunteer, getting I got some grant from CVPR and ICML, and then I just decided I want to help and participate of the kind of organization of the conference, and it was great and a great experience, like being working with everyone, preparing the workshops. So I also have similar experience, like when I went to Brazil for a master's, and then there, because it was everyone similar culture, everything, the transition was very smooth. So I have a very great and nice experience. But the transition here to US, it was a little hard because the culture of the people that I have in the it was different. So I have to adapt to how people do things, how they sing and how they interact. And then I would say also that when I attend to conference, sometimes if you are attending alone, it's very hard if you don't have someone that you can talk or you can feel engaged to. So that is going to a different place or participating to the conference and ask questions everyone. So I really think that creating this opportunity for Latin American people to go share ideas and interact and do networking is great. So then when we go to other conference, we know each other, or at least some people that are attending to the same conference. And if we have this workshop also in the conference, that you go to the booth and then you go and talk with those people and kind of interact, and that can create a great experience and a big opportunity for both, growing, kind of sharing your research, and also doing networking that will allow to keep growing the community, because then you bring people more to the team, and then those people will bring more people. You just feel like it is more warm, and you feel better when you have people that you can share the ideas, and you just start losing the sometimes you're shy and you just don't want to speak because you feel that, okay, I don't know if the person is going to understand. But when there is more people from Latin America, at least for me, it's more easy to just go to talk with the person and just ask, oh, what you're doing, what you do this and what you do that. And then the person gives me I don't know, feedback, and we grow together. I think it's great, that community that it have been built. Just it's amazing if we can just keep growing and growing.
Thank you, Rodolfo, for your words. Maybe I will move to some students, or I see that Jackson Mesa is here. He was one of the winners of the best papers in CVPR. I don't know, Jackson, have you participated in some LatinX AI events before CVPR, or was your first experience? And if not, can you tell us a little bit how was your experience with CVPR?
Hello, everyone. Yes, my first experience was the last CVPR, and this year in 2021. Well, it was really good. I met a lot of people working on the same things that I am working on, and I think it's really curious about LatinX people that commonly we don't know who is working in the same topics compared, for example, to people that is not or outside of Latin America. Yes, it was a very interesting experience. It was my first CVPR and conference. I really enjoyed all the experience, and I met a lot of people, and it was very, very interesting.
Perfect. Thank you a lot, Jackson. Maybe you, Carmina. Carmina's a master student of mine, and she participated in NeurIPS in 2020, I think, and also in CVPR presenting a poster. Can you say a few words, Carmina?
Yes, of course. Also, thank you for the opportunity. Talking in those workshops really helped me because it was really early on my investigation and developing my thesis. So getting feedback from people that work in the environment can really help me to guide the work that I'm doing right now. So being part of this is also a great opportunity.
Thank you, Carmina. Perfect. Who else? Who can ask? Because I know some of the people, but maybe I don't know if somebody else wants to say a few words.
Yeah, I can
okay.
say words. Yeah, okay. I'm Leo, and I'm from. Oh, I don't have a camera. That's okay. I'm from Brazil, the University of São Paulo as well. And I'll say that my first experience with a conference was in CVPR in Brazil. And what I remember the most is that I had a tutorial from Nina, and it was really great. And it was good to see that other Brazilians were working in the field as well. And then my next experience was CVPR 2020. And I don't think there was a LatinX meeting there, or if there was, I missed it because that website was very hard to navigate. And I felt very lonely on that conference because it was probably one of the first online experiences for everyone since it was in June. And people didn't really know how to make it work. So it was just a bunch of Zoom links. And I presented a poster to no one. So it's great to see that now we have LatinX in CVPR and in ICCV because, well, I'm having a good experience now seeing all your experience. Yeah, but it's good to know someone, even if it's virtual.
Yeah, that's great. And also, I think an important aspect that we are maybe not mentioning, we haven't mentioned so far, is that I think this kind of events is also finally we see you. I think this experience, these workshops, is that we get to inspire people, right? Because sometimes we have people from bachelor students and master students that obviously we are always looking for US or UK or Europe to do research. But through the mentoring program, especially, I can say that one of the things that are very successful in LatinX is that the mentoring program is that you can actually give some opportunities for people to know that there is this person doing research in Colombia in computer vision or natural language processing and so on. And I think this has been really important because we all have, for example, in my case, I did a master in computer vision in Europe with Erasmus Mundus master. So I was in UK, France, and Spain, and then I stayed in France for 10 years. So I have lots of contacts, and I will say it's the same for everyone here, like Victor, Matias, we all have contacts. So it's very important as well as a way of giving chances to people coming from Latin American countries to get this kind of access, right? That otherwise it will be very difficult. The same for the mentoring, right? With the companies, we have an amazing roster of mentors this year. So I think that you can actually benefit from it. I don't know if anybody here wants to share if you participated as a mentee or as a mentor. If you want to share a little bit about that process. Has anybody been a mentee or a mentor?
Well, I was a mentor at some point. But, if anyone wants to participate, yeah, please.
Can you share your experience with the mentor?
Actually, I think that I was a mentor for during a NeurIPS workshop. In the heart of the pandemic. So it was an interesting experience, to be honest. It was also kind of like my first formal mentorship with someone. So I think that it's also like one opportunity when you can network and probably open yourself up and also receive feedback like in a chill way. So I really encourage people to sign up for the mentorship programs, to attend to those. And because it's like, for example, when you go to the conference, it's cool. I mean, you're talking about research and what do you do? Maybe some hobbies, like for example, some of my colleagues, like they really like to go to ICCV, CVPR, because they will meet with the all friends that did the PhD with them. However, like for networking, you will be talking with the crowd, so it's difficult to open up yourself and also to get feedback. So it's the mentorship program that LXAI and in LXCV we are also doing. It's a good opportunity for all of us to get feedback. So I really encourage all of you people to participate, to give back, to receive, and grow up the community.
Say, Ulises, what can you tell us about your experience with LatinX in AI so far?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I had a good experience in LatinX in AI. Perhaps 2 years ago, I noticed about this organization, and at the same time, I applied for my first NeurIPS conference, and of course was rejected. But I applied for this workshop, and I can understand how is better strategies to improve my paper, discuss with the community, discuss with the others people, and then I try to follow this community because I think it's great to improve our research work. This is important because we are Latin, but we also doing artificial intelligence, and I feel great to have a group to discuss my papers and my work. More closely, and I think it's great. I am in the government, so I don't have enough time to work in research. So I try to be more efficiently in that way, and this group will help me a lot to do that. And that's all. I feel great to be part of this community.
Thank you, Ulises. Yeah, for me, I will give you just a kind of the same experience. For me is I always saw this as an opportunity, and I have to say that I'm very lucky of here in Mexico. We have the National Council for Science and Technology that gives scholarships to students, and I'm very lucky to have now seven master in science students and 3 PhD students. And I like helping this because I also think it's a way of helping my students to connect and to be able to present their work in a safe place, right? Because we have traditionally for this workshop this is more like a social workshop, but for CVPR or some of the other workshops, we have these either the extended abstract that gets a review process from the community, from the program committee, or in the case of CVPR, we have full papers. So it's a great way of people receiving feedback from the work, right? Because otherwise, you try to send to a big journal or to a big conference, and sometimes the comments can be intimidating. So when you present in a setting like this, it can be more supportive, and you can get some really good ideas for your research. So I think this is an important aspect as well. So this is so maybe in that regard, let's see if anybody of the new, I see some new people, like for example, Williams. Have you participated in some LatinX in AI, or this is your first time? I know that you're working on you are presenting a doctoral consortium. Have you participated before? And if not, what are your expectations for this workshop?
Hey everyone, so my name is Williams. I am from Federal University of Pernambuco in Brazil. It's fun to see that there are other Brazilians here. It's nice. This is my first experience on a big conference. No? I have participated before in other international conferences that happens in Brazil. There are SVR, that is a conference for virtual reality, CVPR, that Liud has mentioned before. I have also participated on that. But in a conference of this level, it's my first time. I am presenting here a doctoral consortium. I have received an email from a colleague of mine telling about this opportunity. And I think that is awesome because it is not very common in my university for people to present doctoral consortiums. Usually people only follow their advisor during all of the program. And I believe that presenting my research to someone will allow me to have insights from different people of different realities and different levels of experience and different levels of applications experience also. I work in a lab here in Recife, Pernambuco, with people of computer vision and artificial intelligence. But in my application scenario, there are not a lot of contacts. So I hope that maybe someone can give me a nice idea of application, or maybe direct me on a few ideas that I have not think before. And this is it. I thank you again, Gilberto, for organizing this. It's very awesome, and it's an opportunity in our lifetime.
Thank you, Williams. Nice to meet you as well. I think we'll have time to discuss later in the doctoral consortium and in the social hour, like more open social hour in Gattertown.
Okay.
Anybody else is a newcomer that wants to share their expectations for the workshop?
Hello, I'm also new in this workshop. I will be talking later, and I think my expectations are to meet people in the field of computer vision, also from Latin background, let's say, and that's it. So actually, I was very glad to get to know the community.
Yeah, this is great. I think that you're one of the featured speakers, and we're really looking forward to see your presentation. Thank you. Thank you a lot for accepting and being part of the community.
Of course, looking forward to it.
Thank you. Let's see, we still have 13 minutes, but I'm having a lot of fun with this dynamics. John Artieda, who are you? What can you tell us about you?
Hello, everyone. My name is John. I'm originally from Ecuador, but I'm currently doing my PhD in Japan at Tohoku University. My background is in medical engineering, and I'm studying into the AI and applications with computer vision for medical applications. So thank you for having me here and for having this opportunity to meet other Latin people working in this field. I'm excited to meet everyone or have a chance to talk with some of you and gain some contacts. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And maybe you can consider in the future to be part, as you are having a very good experience in Stanford, Stanford and Japan, maybe you can consider to be part of the mentoring program in the future.
I would love to. Thanks.
Thank you. Perfect. So let's go with Jorge Sanchez. What can you tell us about you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jorge Sanchez from Argentina. I'm a researcher from CONICET here, which is the National Science Institution. I'm really glad to be here at this panel and giving us the opportunity to participate on this type of conferences. Given this pandemic situation, it's nice to have the opportunity to be on different conferences that otherwise would be very difficult to be. I mean, living in the south part of the world, traveling from Argentina to Europe and the US, you can afford it once a year with our budgets, but with this type of endeavors makes the connections a lot more easier. So thanks to the organizers for the event.
Hey, Gilberto, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I want to say thanks to Jorge because I believe that he helped us as a reviewer during the first LXCV in CVPR. And actually, like Jorge, correct me if I'm not wrong, because sometimes we have like this people with similar name, but Jorge is one of the authors of VLAT, the VLAT frame. There was a framework before learning that was very popular for human with people. And
that was before convolutional networks arrived. So exactly. It's like a prehistoric of computer vision.
Yeah, but
Fisher vectors and that stuff. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, it has been revamped. There is now NetVLAT. So
everything comes back time to time. Yeah. No, thank you for the organization. Yeah. Well, we are a lot of Jorge Sanchez in the world.
Yeah. Well, nice to meet you, Jorge. And
nice to meet you too.
Look forward to keep talking during the workshop. So let's see. Somebody else. Roman Alejandro, how are you? What can you tell us about you?
Hi. I'm a researcher from Universidad Industrial de Santander, UIS, in Colombia. I'm just beginning in this research field. I have like 2 years in experience. I just graduated as an electronic engineer. My background is from computational imaging. And I said that this seems very cool activity for get together all this computer vision research from Latin America. I'm very happy for it.
Perfect. Thank you a lot. Roman, Rodolfo, Mauricio. Is Mauricio my student or Mauricio is another Mauricio?
Yes, your student.
Yeah. So Mauricio is also a master student of mine, a brilliant one. What can you tell us about your experience? I think you presented in EURIPS and also for CVPR you have a paper, right? What can you tell us about your experience with CVPR so far?
Right. For CVPR, there were some interesting posters. There were some interesting tutorials and presentations, and the mentoring. It was also very interesting. So I would like for everyone to attend to every event they can. I presented a poster in the CVPR and some there was some people interested in my work. It was about a technique for featured learning. So if you are interested in that subject, maybe I can help you with that.
Yeah, and you will be presenting a poster today as well, right?
Yes, right.
Thank you. We have a newcomer as well. I see that you connected, Miguel. Miguel is a colleague of mine, part of the machine learning group, and this is his first time as a part of the organization committee. He's one of the persons in charge of the doctoral consortium. Miguel, what can you tell us about your expectations and maybe a little bit about the doctoral consortium? I also have to say he is expressing of the Mexican Society of Artificial Intelligence, so he is someone who knows a little bit about it, doing these kind of efforts in Latin America. What can you tell us, Miguel?
Hi guys, good day for everyone. Well, it's a pleasure for being here, Gilberto. I am really glad about all the work done by the organizers. I think it's really wonderful. My expectations, just for this first edition of this workshop, I think it will be quite nice, very specific for computer vision applications. But particularly for the doctoral consortium, we have some submissions, of course, but right now what we have is the opportunity to have a particular, it's little it's a little weird that you want to have a doctoral consortium, inside a workshop. Normally it's for a conference, an entire conference, and now just for this first edition we have at the end three doctoral proposals. I think it will be quite nice and a very good opportunity to connect with some colleagues and peers. I think it will be nice for the PhD students to have a good a good advice of their current work status of what they have, even if they have partial experiments or just the ideas for the work. I think it will be quite nice, and maybe there could be some opportunities to collaborate. I think this first edition already used for the path we have for the organization. I think it will be a successful event. Thank you, Gilberto.
Thank you a lot, Miguel. Yeah, I saw that also Fabian Cava just connected. I think Fabian, we are doing kind of a social meeting and talking a little bit about everything, but maybe in your case, since you were at Adobe, can you tell us your experience? How was it to go from your country, the US, and start working at Adobe? And also, you have been very active helping with the LatinX AI. Can you share us a little bit of your experience?
Yeah, thank you, Gilberto, for welcoming to the discussion. Sorry, I cannot unmute my camera, but I actually commuting. Yeah, so yes, Gilberto mentioned, I did my PhD in Saudi Arabia in computer vision. I work in action recognition videos. I stayed there for a couple of years, 4 years, and then I moved now to the US, and I'm working at Adobe as a research scientist. And yeah, I think this is a great initiative. I remember when Victor mentioned about it, and this is something we thought we should kind of like start doing in the computer vision community. I remember when we were attending CVPR a few years ago, we always have 1 or 2 tables of LatinX people like just talking, but I can see now how this is scaling up and how can we're building a community. So I think this is a great initiative. And I think, Gilberto, you have been one of the leaders. So I want to thank you now publicly to really pushing this forward. Yeah, really glad to help and connect with any students or like potential mentees that would like to know more about my career, or like if they need any help as well, like just feel free to connect with me.
Thank you a lot, Fabian. Thank you a lot. So we're almost done. Maybe we can, you will take care of the first session of the presenters, Victor. Maybe we can start, Stefania. We just got some bad news from Sandra Avila.
Yes.
She had an accident. Not a very bad, but yes, she's in a hospital. So unfortunately, we won't be able to have her presentation. Thank you a lot from Luis Alberto Munoz, who's sharing a book. He's working. He's a colleague here in Mexico. He did his PhD in Oxford, and he's very close here at Tec de Monterrey. Maybe we can talk a little bit later. And you're welcome to join the efforts of LXAI. Thank you. So we have two talks. I mean, we had 3 talks. Stefania Talavera, one for Ali Thabet, and one from Sandra Avila. I think we can, and you will moderate this, right, Victor?
Yes, please help me switching the admin to them such that they can share the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Is Stefania?
Yes.
Has Stefania joined the Zoom link?
I'm here, but I cannot share. Do I need to?
Daniel, are you? Maybe you. I think you are administrator. Can you make her co-host, please?
So I think that in that case, well, there will be like 15 minutes gap. So I think if I'm not wrong, like we have the break session afterwards, right?
Yeah. So we can maybe we can continue with the social hour a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Stefania.
Or we can go ahead and have the 2 presentations, and then we can do something else.
Yeah. So it's I see the presentation, Stefania. Yeah. I don't see it, but I see the presentation.
You can see it, right? Good.
Yeah. Now I can see it. Perfect.
Then I start with
just
one.
Let me introduce yourself. So first, yeah. As for those who just joined, the purpose of the invited talks is to give the stage to, I mean, like, let's say not established professors, those who, like, for example, have like several talks usually in ICCV or CVPR, there are professors who give 5, 6 or more talks during the conference. Instead, what we wanted to do is like to give the stage to like new faces such that they inspire us of how they reach their status in their career. So Stefania was actually nominated by some of the members of the community, and we are really pleased that she accepted the invitation. She's an assistant professor of the University of Twente, and she's interested in the intersection of data science and behavioral analysis. I'm really looking forward for your talk about, I mean, especially the egocentric perception bit. Yeah, take it from there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here, as I said before. So in this presentation, I will be talking about 2 things. Half of it, I will be talking about myself, how I reach where I am now. And then I will be discussing egocentric perception, that is the research that, I find appealing. Okay, yeah. So about me, I did my bachelor studies on electronics. I did electronic engineering in the University of Balearic Islands. I don't know if you know where this is. This is in a small university in Mallorca. It's in the Mediterranean Sea. And it's a really beautiful place. But what I did was very far from what I'm doing now. So I was working with my protoboard, the circuits, getting signals, analyzing it. After that, I moved to Barcelona because I was interested on biomedical engineering. So my master was focused on that. Barcelona was also very nice, as everyone knows, but also the topics I was working on were very different from what I'm doing now. So I studied from physiology to biochemistry to bioinformatics, all an introduction, because our backgrounds from the people that joined these master studies were very diverse. I had peers that were working on physics, came from a physics background, from chemistry and electronics, for instance. I was lucky to meet my supervisor, I would say, because I'm happy where I am now. Through the master's thesis project that I did in computer vision, I started my PhD degree. This PhD degree was under the umbrella of being a sandwich PhD degree. So I followed 2 years at the University of Barcelona and then 2 years at the University of Groningen. This University of Groningen is in the Netherlands, North Netherlands. It's a bit isolated, but very beautiful. This has positive aspect that I had 2 supervisors, so Petya Radeva and Nikolai Petkov, who could bring different perspectives into the project, and no one could mentor and guide me in different ways. So that was positive, sometimes negative, but in general positive. But the plus thing of this sandwich degree, this 50-50 position, was that I could work with 2 different teams, the one in Barcelona and the one in Netherlands. And it was very, very positive. So this is something that I highly recommend to everyone. I don't know if 50-50 is always possible, but research visit, 3 months, 6 months abroad in a different research group, that could be ideal, I would say. So one side I had my group in Barcelona, who was mostly focused on egocentric perception, that later I will discuss. And then I had the University of Groningen people and team there that was very diverse. So actually I was the only one working on my project, and then almost every different PhD was approaching different problems. But of course, always with the backbone of using machine learning, computer vision, time series analysis, etc. So it was it was a very enriching period and a set of years. And okay, I only also added here some nice pictures of Groningen, just to be fair. After that, and during the last year of my PhD, I joined at the University of Groningen as a lecturer. That it was not my initial plan, but it ended up being a very good decision because I could learn about teaching. Sometimes when you want to say in academia, you forget that you need to be a teacher, and this helped me training myself, let's say. So I was 2 years as a lecturer while finishing the PhD in the first year, and I was teaching master and bachelor students, and I was learning how to be a teacher, how to give a session like lectures, and how to supervise. And as I say here, this is a never-ending process. And I was doing little research because of the type of position. And after that, I joined the University of Twente. This is also in the Netherlands, different city. And there I'm following my research lines. I have more time for research. That's what I was looking for, but I'm still a part-time teacher, let's say. So good, now going into egocentric perception, and why I add here mine is because I follow my own way of working on this field. Egocentric perception can be understood from many different subfields, it's applied to many different subfields. You have egocentric perception when working on robot localization, how a robot interacts with the surrounding environment. You also have it in virtual reality, what the person is experiencing with these glasses, how the environment surrounding the person affects this experience. Also, you have it in sports field, analyzing how the sports person is performing. And you also have it in activity recognition with computer vision, etc. When it goes to my egocentric perception, I linked it to lifestyle understanding and analysis. And this is where human behavior analysis came in the title of the talk. So to understand how a person behaves throughout time, to get behavior information, you need long periods of time to be recorded and then later analyzed. And this is where life logging enters. So life logging is the logging of your life. So it's this creating a diary of what is happening. And this initially was introduced to help people suffering from Alzheimer's disorder when we go to egocentric perception in computer vision. It can also be used for self-awareness, tell me an objective description of my behavior, and it also can be used for evaluating the performance of groups of people. Yeah, so in my work, I work on this live logging using wearable cameras. These wearable cameras record an egocentric view, a view from the person of what is happening throughout the time. And you might be, or you may already know some of these devices here, these wearables. You have this, I don't know if you see my mouse, but you have the Google glasses, you have the GoPro, among others. These are just a sample of what you can find. We used the one that I'm wearing here on the left. This is called narrative clip for the collection of the data set. And why did we use this? This camera allows us to record up to 2 or 3 pictures per minute, depending on the movement, for like 10 hours throughout the day. That means, okay, with a battery that can handle that. If you would be using the GoPro, it has a battery life of X amount of hours and is less comfortable to wear to record your daily routine, let's say. So this camera actually produces egocentric photo stream, these sequences of photos that describe an egocentric perspective, a first-person view of the environment. So when we used to wear these cameras, we would create this visual diary that is several days of the life of the person, describing the activities and the daily routine. So to these images, we could ask questions, and this is actually what my PhD thesis was about. I ended up with this is the cover of my thesis, and I addressed many questions. I built different algorithms and pipelines to be able to extract information from these videos. Just to kind of conclude, I also wanted to mention what can come next, because this egocentric perception field has been addressed, as I said before, from many different perspectives. But nowadays there is an increased use of wearable devices, and you could ask many questions here. You could try to understand many different situations. So the combination of this, the output of the sensor could be very interesting to analyze. Also, I don't know if you read this last news about Raven stories, and Facebook, they now released these smart glasses that, well, you could already see here that there is some people that are supporting the field or finding interesting to invest in. And also for security reasons in several countries. Actually, the other day I met a policeman in Germany that was wearing a wearable camera, and I thought, well, this would be interesting to analyze. But there are many other people that are finding it needed for other reasons. So this is where I think it will go next. And yeah, I want to conclude, not to take more time than needed. Thank you for the attention. And okay, here I left a QR in case you want to contact me and know more about what I just mentioned. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Stefania. So, by the way, now we have some time for questions, especially like considering that there is unfortunately the last speaker of the first round of invited talks is got injured, so we have a bit of time. So feel free to post your questions or to mute the camera. William, I think that you are raising the hands. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Hi, Stefania. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. My name is Williams. I am a PhD candidate from Brazil, and I work with behavior analysis, specifically with emotion recognition. I want to ask you, because today I understood you are working with images and images from an egocentric view, but also you have pointed out to a few possible scenarios using biosensors that could help to understand better how humans are behaving. Have you ever worked on, or have you ever seen some research paper that focused on emotion recognition in this scenario?
Yes, you pronounce my name very nicely, William. Yes, nice. There are many works that do emotion recognition. Okay, you know that from facial expressions. What happens is that from our images, we tried it. We run those algorithms and methods, but they are challenging images. So There are works, we did it, but the performance is not optimal.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
I am working with context information together with facial expressions and other cues from body language. And I would like to hear from you if you think that context is really something that is representative in this scenario. So we can take in consideration that the person is on a party. So maybe it's feeling a little more happier than it would be if it would be at home. If this line of thought has some sense for you, makes some sense for you.
Sorry, I was not feeling fine. I needed to drink. Let me actually build a bit on the previous question, and then we will do this one. We actually, what we did, because this field, as I said, started with emotion recognition. I mean, working with people with Alzheimer's, and also we tried with people with depression. So the idea was to try to find positive memories to be retrieved. So actually, what we record in our daily life is not always showing the direct feeling of the person. So sorry, I didn't talk for the whole morning, and now I get very dry. This is very uncomfortable. But
please take your time.
Yeah, an egocentric perception shows the other person emotion, but not yours, unless you have a mirror in front of you the whole time, and that's not the case. So actually, psychologists say that what the other person tends to experience, you tend to experience it too. So it's not that you have someone in front of you crying and you are laughing, even though it can happen, right? So we were mostly extrapolating based on the other person face to see how the person was feeling, to be later used for certain purposes, not to be retrieved or find positive moments of my life, etc., etc. So I don't know if that's answered your first question, but we address it that way.
Yeah.
And
so,
the second.
Sorry, please continue.
No, tell me. It was fine.
No. It's not that I thought you finished to answer the question. So, but it seems like it's the second part now.
Yes, actually, I wanted to ask him to give me again the second part because I was thinking. Sorry, William.
Okay, no, that's no problem. I work with multiple cues to detect emotion, and facial expressions is actually only one of them. The other two I work with is body language and context. The context information should just background of a picture. So if someone is at a party, it's more probable that they are feeling happy instead of feeling sad, and we take this into consideration. What I wanted to ask you is that if you think that this makes some sense in the wild classification, so you are walking towards on the street using a egocentric view, and we can take into consideration where this person is, and then we take another sensors and we combine all of this, and then we make a prediction. Do you think that this is something that could happen in real life?
Yes, I think yes. I mean, this always you should be involving, I would say, psychologists, because they will give a more solid baseline, let's say. But I would say yes, from what I remember when I was working on this field, we were also even taking into account the scene, not only based on localization, that's actually a very good idea, but also even the colors, like being in the nature gives you peace and you should be happy. But okay, a person with depression can be very unhappy also in a forest. So it really depends, but you could generalize, yes, if that's the purpose of your work, no? But if you want to do a personalized analysis, then you should ask questions to the person, no, to the user, let's say, in my case, users of the sensors.
Okay, so vamos a tomar, let's take another question. So Christian, you will be next. For Rodolfo, who was also in the queue for asking a question, probably we can do it after Ali's talk. So perhaps we will have time there. So please write down your question, Rodolfo, and Christian, go ahead.
Thank you, Victor. I just want to mention, it's very interesting that in the community that we are talking here, there are many people that is working on video analysis. Victor, Fabian, myself. I just want to make like a highlight of that. But apart of that, I have a question, like in the ego view, I think my understanding of what you were saying is like you are taking a picture every 4 pictures every minute, isn't it?
2 to 3 pictures per minute. So it's low frame rate.
So these 2 to 3 pictures per minute, there is any work that is trying to recover the temporal aspect between these frames? I can imagine that if, let's say, someone with Alzheimer's is trying to find where is the wallet that they leave in some place, you can miss that information because you just take the pictures in bad positions, right? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Not everything can be recorded, and there were works on object retrieval. No, like let's find where the object was last time. No, it was recorded, kind of. And the thing is that it would be perfect to have a camera that can record the whole day through, but it's not the case. There are no such camera with that long battery life. So I see the problem that you are mentioning. And there are works retrieving objects, but there is no solution to fill in the gaps because the information is not there. But it could be interesting because that's something that I was also testing with the students. I did not mention it, but being a lecturer gives you a lot of projects to think about, etc., where you could fill in the gaps between these time frames where you have nothing, but from previous day what was happening there. No, so maybe this is a bit of a storyline that could be followed. But yeah.
Very, very interesting. Thank you.
Sure. Interesting question and really interesting talks. Thank you a lot, Stefania, for sharing a bit of your life and also your topic of research. So, if you have time, feel free to stay until the end for hanging out with people. So, okay, let's continue then with the next speaker of this first round of invited talks. It's truly my honor to introduce Ali Thabet. Ali actually was the first postdoc that I encountered in my research life. When a young Colombian guy who speaks, broken or more broken English than he speaks now, arrived to Saudi Arabia, afraid to talk to people. Ali welcomed me and helped me during all my PhD to, let's say, to stay on the path and to keep forward and never give up. So it's really my pleasure to introduce Ali. He's now a manager at Facebook Applied Research in Zurich. So he's working in with the Facebook, the FRL, Facebook Reality Labs. And I'm really looking forward for what he will tell us today. Thanks, Ali.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm very, very happy to be with you. So I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. So my name is Ali Thabet. And today, so I have this kind of cryptic title for this presentation, but let me maybe start with a little TLDR of what I want to do today. So instead of going into science technical work, what I want to talk to you about is basically how I have and how you can grow your career beyond just learning technical skills. So what I refer to when I say technical skills is obviously the things you learn in your degree, during your PhD, by doing the work, by writing the papers. But I honestly believe your life experiences have a direct effect, a direct positive effect on how your career grows and how your career evolves. And the main thing, the main takeaway that I want you to take from this presentation is the importance of diversity in your life. So in a world that is so well connected today, being immersed in these diverse environments can have an immense effect on who you become as a person and as a researcher. So what we want to do today is I want to tell you a bit about my personal journey, some of the things that I've done and how they have shaped me and how they have made me the person I am today, and how they have helped me build my career. And then along the way, maybe we'll talk a little bit about computer vision science. I might mention some of the work that I have done in the past and the things that I'm trying to do today. So really the journey of my life is a bit multicultural. So I was, sorry, yeah. I was born in Lebanon. This is a tiny little country in the Middle East. A very nice and beautiful place in the mid 80s. And because of some of the political instability that happened over there, my parents decided to move all the way across the world to Colombia, another much bigger country, equally beautiful, where I spent most of my life. Grew up in there, and that's, you know, kind of my connection to the LatinX community. This was the beginning of trying to feel like a multicultural person, being raised in this kind of society with a different background. And all across, I've had the pleasure to live in a few other places. I did my PhD at the University of Dundee in Scotland, where I spent 4 years. And for those who live in Europe and in the UK particularly, you understand how diverse these environments are. Number one, and number two, how different they are from these other places that I've mentioned. So this was an interesting experience. And for the vast majority of my professional time, I spent it in Saudi Arabia at the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. This is where I had the pleasure of meeting Victor, where we did a lot of work together. And just recently, I moved to Switzerland, where I live right now. I'm in Zurich, part of the Facebook Reality Labs. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to feel this privilege of living and moving around the world, but it's obviously a bit challenging. So for all of us who've had to move around, move to new places, there are some challenges that are innate with it. You know, you feel like you have to restart your life every time. And then you feel like you have to understand these cultural subtleties of the world. These things are a bit different from what you're used to. And this all takes a bit of time. Starting a new job, starting a new education path, these are difficult. Building new social circles. If you are going through that and you're feeling this right now, you know that you're not alone. We all go through this, and always reach out to everybody that you know when you need help, because we all give each other support. But beyond the challenges, there are a lot of benefits from doing this. The idea of discovering new places and experiences is unique, and it's really good. And I would say, building new social circles, that is a challenge, but that's also a benefit. It's getting to know new people and understanding diversity. Learning, you're going to learn something new. This is why you're moving to this new place, so that's good for you. And the biggest thing is, you will become more culturally diverse, and that's kind of the thing what I want to get to today. And what is this idea of cultural diversity? So if you look at the Wikipedia definition of culture, and I think this comes from some very old work, the main thing about this sentence is that the culture of people is a combination of many things. You see these highlighted words in here: behaviors and norms and knowledge, beliefs, laws, customs, capabilities. This is what makes us who we are at a certain culture, and this is also what differentiates between one culture and the other. So the more you know these places, the more you visit these places, the more diverse you are, the easier it becomes for you to work with other people, to build new bonds, to engage in new types of work. And it has had a very positive effect for me. And I'll talk about one specific example. So this was the team, or some portion of the team that I had to work with when I was a research scientist at CAUS between 2019 and 2021. There's a lot of familiar faces who I think are with us in this call today. But if you look at, by only looking at names and faces and all that, this was truly a multicultural team. People that left their homes, came to a new place. They didn't know much about it. They took that risk. They wanted to engage and they wanted to learn something. So there was a challenge in there, which is for me, or the work that I was doing, was to be able to positively engage with everybody. And when we say that, engagement it has to be mutually beneficial. You know, I will gain from it, but I need everybody also to gain from it. And the main thing that helped me was having this diverse background. So at that time, I had, born in Lebanon, lived in there for a bit, grew up in Colombia, lived in Europe for a bit, and then came to Saudi Arabia. I had some luck. The team was composed. There was a lot of people from Colombia. There was a lot of people from Latin America. There was a lot of people from Arabic backgrounds and other things. So what I found out was that it was easier for me to engage with people, and it was easier for me to build trust with people because I was already exposed to these things. And I'm going to talk about two major outcomes that I personally found beneficial. And I hope that you think are beneficial too for your next interactions. But before that, I just want you to remember, if you remember one thing from this, is when you're working with these teams, there's always this idea of who is more important. Is it the person or is it maybe the project that you want? So I always think, and you should have your work to be people-centric. When you focus on people first, the benefits of work will always come after, okay? Because you want your people to be successful, you want people to move forward, and that's the only way you can get them to engage. You should always try to build trust. And the best way, the easiest way to do this is to always be diverse, is to always engage in these opportunities. And that's how it helped me. The first benefit I got for it was work. We had, there's going to be a few very quick slides about some of the work that I did in there, but the main idea behind it was because I was able to work with different people, we got different perspectives of the same type of work. One type of work that we were focused on was to develop efficient models over here. So I'm just going to skip over these ones in there. But the main idea in here was we wanted to develop new models for computer vision and deep learning models on point clouds. And we wanted to focus on doing efficient models over there. And I was working with 3 different groups, and each group was working on different aspects of this work. Because you can get exposed to all these ideas together, you can see a bigger picture and say, okay, if we combine these 3 different things together, which I'm mentioning, we can actually work into creating, this this efficient model. So it helps you to know a lot of people. So the other benefit is for me was to be able to find my strengths in my career. For those who are used to a bit of tech career jargon, there are people who develop their lives as individual contributors, and there are people who develop their lives as people managers. They both involve equal growth. They're both equally important. Contrary to common belief, becoming a manager is not really a promotion. It's just becoming something different. I became a people manager because, I like this. I realized that this is what I like to do. And I realized this because I got to work with a lot of people, and because I got to work with different kinds of people. It's helped me achieve, whatever success I can claim today. And this is kind of the work that I'm doing. How do you do this? There's no defined recipe for it, but I think there are 2 major factors that always help you life. The first one is you need a bit of luck. So I use luck and serendipity a bit interchangeably in here, but serendipity is when luck plays to your favor. But I put a quote in here from Guy Raz, who he's a podcaster, and he wrote a book or he interviews a lot of successful entrepreneurs. He always ends his interviews asking people how much do they attribute their success to luck. And there are various degrees of answers, but there's always some luck in your life. So we're always going to get some sort of luck in our lives. You wait for it, and hopefully it helps you. I didn't choose to be born where I was born and to live where I lived. This was choices beyond my control. So there was some luck in there, but I used that to my favor at some point. And then the other part is hard luck and resilience. Luck comes to us, to all of us at some point. So this is where we kick in with some hard luck. Like I said, new experiences are hard. So you put some resilience in there, but it is worth your effort to do. So I leave you with a little bit of advice in here, and it's, explore the world. Don't let go of these opportunities to take new jobs, takes new internships in other countries. Always keep an open mind. I remember when I moved to Saudi Arabia, as many people that were, that moved from abroad there, we were told about, why are you going there? This is a strange place. There was always some bad media attached to it, but always keep an open mind. I think for me, this was one of the best experiences that I had. Don't be afraid of these new challenges of traveling the world. I've been to many countries now, and I actually have a mild or like moderate phobia of flying, but I still do it. It's a bit of a challenge, but you still go. It's all worth it at the end. And lastly, I just wanted to leave you with some of the best books that I've read and that have helped me personally in growing. I think you know a few of them. And the last one here on the right, Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. I really advise on this. He goes over the whole idea of why it's important to talk to other people and to understand who they are as a person. So this was our TLDR. I'm putting it again in here. I hope you find some of this conversation useful. And I want to thank you for inviting me. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully I'm not too much over time. I think I am a little bit. But if you have any questions today, please let me know. If at any point, you're feeling alone, you're feeling sad, you're feeling like you're in a new place, things are hard at work, things are hard personally, also reach out to me, to anybody that you know. Stay there. This is all worth it, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Really, I think that this is one of the things, like, obviously, like from a third-party perspective who don't know Ali, I would say like, oh yeah, this sounds really honest. But as someone who is a friend of him, I can really say that it's truly honest. So I think that, yeah, when you do the PhD, how is it? Like when you do the PhD, you have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, probably we touch some of the points here and there. We debate about those. In Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any question from the audience? See, let me double check in Facebook or YouTube. Yeah, so Ali, Rodolfo has a question. Please, Rodolfo, unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, thank you, Ali. It was like a great talk, like, such inspiring journey, like going from Lebanon to Colombia, back to Saudi Arabia, that's like when you meet that a lot of people, it's amazing. So I have two questions. One, I'm just curious, like, how is your approach actually, like when you engage with new people, like, even if there is a language barrier there, like how you actually talk with a stranger, like if you have like a specific like tip, the ones that you use the most, like if I don't know, like what do you suggest, like you just go direct to talk with the person, or what would be like the best approach on that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I mean, I recognize how hard this is. So the first thing you need to do is, know that it is hard. So don't feel bad that you might be struggling to do it, because it's a difficult thing to do. I found, and I found this recently, when you approach it with honesty, when you need to engage with somebody and you tell them, I understand that there's a barrier between us because either of our cultures or of language. This kind of sets the tone from the beginning that your intentions are always good. So I want to engage with you because I want to have a productive relationship. And this helps. The other thing is, for me, is listening. So a lot of listening, giving the opportunity to for people to talk, try to understand what is it that they want to achieve. So for example, if it's on a professional basis, and this is what I do, is listen to what people want to do. What is it that they want out of this professional engagement? And try to base the discussions based on that. So setting some clear expectations at the beginning, being honest about the difficulty of the exchange, just relaxes people. And then on top of that, care about people on a personal level. Like deep care on a personal level becomes very important. So, for example, what I try to do with the teams that I've worked on is always have a personal relationship beyond work. I try to find out what are the things that they like to do. Do they like to go to, specific social events, specific restaurants? Try to organize these things. People see that you have good intentions, and it always helps. So I hope that kind of answers your question. But remember, don't feel bad if you're struggling to do this, because it is hard, and that's okay.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. Yeah, I guess other people are want to ask that. I just have like this quick, like if you just have one idea, like as you said, that it is very important kind of to focus on people first. So what are your thoughts, like just going to the artificial intelligence things, how we can make actually artificial intelligence focus on people first? Like what are your thoughts on that area? Like how it can be more diverse and how it can put people first and not just the final goal?
Yeah, okay. So that's also it's become a controversial topic, unfortunately, but I think we should focus on solving the problems that affect people directly. If we're focused on that, then we're still putting people first. I know we're not very good at doing that. So even, whether it's universities or companies, we've all made a lot of mistakes, but we need to try to focus on solving the problems that affect people directly, whether it's healthcare, mobility, transportation, education, and things like that. It's a big challenge, but if we focus on that, then hopefully the AI that we're building is for the benefit of humanity.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Ali.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rodolfo. So Fabian have a question, so please unmute yourself, Fabian.
Yeah, so thank you, Ali, for this inspiring talk. So I was kind of like one of the Ali's mentees when I went to Saudi Arabia, similar to Victor, and I can tell he's a great mentor. So I really enjoy listening this talk and like seeing these organizing thoughts. So I think this also inspires me. Like now that I'm almost transitioning into a role where I can also mentor people, I think it was really helpful for me to listen to this talk. So yeah, thank you, Ali. So, but my question is more about related the ecosystem in Latin America, right? So I think a lot of people in Latin America believe like there are little opportunities back in Latin America, and they need to go out to actually, or they need to travel to actually, be an impactful researcher or develop their career. So do you have any thoughts on how can we strengthen like the Latin American ecosystem in AI and computer vision without the need to travel out to actually develop the things we want to do?
Yeah. Thank you for your kind words first, and thank you for the question. There is, I think, a lot of us are victims of growing up in difficult countries and difficult environments. We're ripe with corruption and social issues and things like that. So one of the reasons why a lot of us travel abroad, it is because we're looking for better opportunities, but it's also because sometimes life in our own countries is hard. So this might be a more difficult thing to solve. But one thing to keep in mind is, because we have so many social issues, that means there are a lot of problems that are worth solving over there. So I've seen a lot of really nice initiatives. So in Colombia, we have the new Sinfonia Center. So that's a center for AI research, and a lot of the work that they do is engaged with the private sector and with the government to solve daily problems for people. So don't feel like you need to go abroad to solve these things. These things exist locally. The second thing is, we have a lot of us also fall victim to the idea of, I need to solve these very big abstract problems, and we do that a lot when we write papers for conferences, right? We're looking at solutions of problems that we think are big, but how impactful they are on the long run, that's very hard to measure. So if you really care about your own community, your own society, it is also important, it is also impactful to solve these problems. The last thing is, and I think a lot of people are doing it, and we have to do it better, is to set up these communication and mentoring ecosystems where the people who have gone abroad and we're already living abroad, we have a more formal way to give back. So I know there's a lot of entrepreneurial ideas coming out from Latin America, and they can benefit from the experience that we have built abroad. They have the stamina, the resilience to build this thing. So if we can build a good way to give back in terms of mentorship and knowledge, then hopefully people will get encouraged to stay and work, whether it's on research or on applications or on entrepreneurship. But be mindful. I know how difficult this thing is. I don't claim to have the answers and the solutions, but I hope that those ideas sound interesting to people.
Thank you. Really.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So we have now a break, but I would like to have an opportunity, if you agree with that. Well, first we have the tutorials in 15 minutes. So the idea is that we will be creating two main rooms, okay? And I will let the participants choose the rooms. So one will be the presentation by Matias about how to write papers from the reviewer's perspective, and the other one is by Karina about the OCR application. So I will create the rooms independently, okay? But before that, I have this crazy idea. I think you receive it. If not, if somebody can help me, sharing the GetterTown link, and if you have already created your avatar, I would like you to meet here in the lobby, because I want to make a picture of all the participants so far. I think some people will join later because we're 80 participants, 80 people registered. We are now 50 something, so it will be really nice to meet in GetterTown and do the break. Okay.